Joe Montemurro, CommBank Matildas head coach. How does that sound? What's your reaction to that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's sunk in yet, but internally and just within myself, it's probably really difficult to put it in words. But look, just an amazing feeling and an amazing opportunity, and I suppose when those sort of words are mentioned, I think about the process to get to this point. All the words like pride and honour, they're normal, but it's a little bit more than that.
It's gotten a run so far, but can you tell me about the story with this thing here as well?
Oh, the pin, yeah. No, look, we were having breakfast this morning, just going through a bit of briefing with Gary, George, and Heather, and Jesse, and I was sort of we were talking about obviously what the day was going to encapsulate today and tomorrow, and I got presented this pin, and it sort of hit me. It sort of said, wow, I'm going to be the coach of an amazing brand, a brand that means a lot to a lot of people here in this country, and it was quite emotional.
For people that don't know much about you, how would you introduce Joe Montemurro and Joe Montemurro football as a team regard to the Matildas career?
Yeah, I like your question, because it's Joe Montemurro the person and Joe Montemurro the coach. Well, first of all, a lot of people call me Pepe, so we'll get that out of the way from the start. But anyone can call me Joe. I mean, I've been called worse as a coach, so it's quite interesting. But look, I think I've always approached my football and me as a person as one, with a sense of humility, a sense of selflessness, and I suppose honesty. I've always been honest or tried to be as honest as possible. In a leadership role. And look, football. I suppose I'm probably a little bit stubborn, but I'm not going to tell you things you probably don't know. But it's obviously a brand where we want to have the ball more than the other team. We want to be able to control the situation even without the ball. But more importantly, a team that's going to excite and be proactive and hopefully entertain.
And how much are you looking forward to meeting up with the players as well? Can you talk us through the sort of last 24 hours? And it's obviously a big focus on them. Some of them quite well, some less so.
Yeah. Effectively, I put pen to paper on the 31st of May, and Lyon were fantastic to sort of allow me to sort of finish up on time and get over here as quick as possible, and then obviously FA in the situation wanted to do a lot of media content as we're doing now. But look, I've obviously worked with a handful of the players through whether it's overseas or locally, which is already an important part. Believe it or not, I watch a lot of the A-League overseas, so I'm I've got a pretty good handle on the development and also what's happening in the A-League, so which I felt is important. But look, one of the big things we want to do is really meet up with the players and put in some individual plans for them, and we're talking the extended squad. And it's important because it's going to work hand in hand with the identity and the way we want to play, and the game model that the players understand through that, the profiling of what their expectations are, both physically, tactically, and obviously mentally also.
Can you speak a little bit about the team as well? Briefly, you mentioned obviously how important it is and the emotions with coaching Australia, but can you speak about how special the Matildas as a team are as well, and sort of that change that's happened, or you've been overseas almost as well, and particularly the World Cup, and how how much you're looking forward to being a part of that and leading this team forward?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, because you get a lot of opinions and you get a lot of scenarios thrown at you in terms of, the team's aging, or the team, needs a rebuild, or the team needs to, go in a different direction, or so on and so on. I think the reality is that we need to stabilise a team that's going to be prepared for the Asian Cup, that's going to be ready to to take on this important tournament and go all the way. So that's the first and foremost scenario. But that doesn't mean that development and I suppose reintroducing the next generation isn't going to be happening while we're still trying to prepare a team. So I think it's one of these sort of holistic, I suppose, processes. We are going to work with development. We are going to be working with the process of introducing new players and introducing, a squad that will create A, a legacy, and B, sustainability going forward.
And just on that, the fan, the popularity side of it as well. It might be something that you experience for the first time at, sold out Canberra Stadium tonight as well. But yeah, just how important the fans are for the Matildas and to be a part of that for you.
Well, it's a special brand, and it's a special brand for many reasons. The players over the years have created amazing role models. They've created, I suppose, an aura, if you want to use that word, of a high performance team that will always represent what it means to be Australian. In every game that it plays, and I think that's touched the fan base, and it's just kept I suppose a special sort of what's the word, feeling within the fan base. So when you become a Matildas fan, you really see that you are a Matildas fan, and that's something special. It's something really, really special. And it's the growth of the game has been amazing. I witnessed it at the World Cup in 23, just the amount of just interest in the game, and that interest has been turned into, fans and supporters of A, the women's game, and B, the Matildas.
Thank you, Pep.